Let's start.
Hello, sports fans.
Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, good morning and welcome to another edition of the JP Peterson Show as we rocket into a Thursday. Lots of Brady news. Again, as I said on Twitter last night, there's more smoke here than a Snoop Dogg concert going on when it comes to the Brady retirement. We should basically call it the Brady return now. Because I don't think there's anybody out there that still believes that Tom Brady is going to stay retired, except maybe Bruce Arians.
I think you're sitting next to one right here.
You still think he's going to? Oh, gosh, I'll take that bet. Who out there wants to bet me that Tom Brady will never throw another NFL pass? Please bring me your money.
I'll throw my money to you.
Really?
I'll give my money right back to you.
I don't want to take your money, but I'll take everybody else's money. No. And we will, again, try to dissect what the hell Brady is talking about as he went on the Fred Couples show on SiriusXM. I didn't even know Fred Couples had a show on SiriusXM.
Yeah, me neither. I didn't know Fred Couples was on SiriusXM.
I didn't know Fred Couples and Tom Brady were a thing.
Me neither.
Now we do. So we'll get into that here in just a little bit. Also, Scott Zolak, he's that crazy Patriots color analyst on their radio network. Always says those like give him the ponies or whatever the hell he says. Funny guy, love him. And he was a teammate of Brady, I think, for a while. Like, who wasn't? At some point, everybody played with Brady. He's been playing for 100 years. So he had an interesting take on what's going on with Tom Brady. So we'll tell you about that. Dan Lucas, News Channel 8, is up at the Combine. We're going to try to hook up with him at some point. Brian Bradley, Lightning All-Star, will join us at 11:15 to talk some Lightning as they welcome in the Pens tonight. Nice little marquee matchup tonight at Amalie Arena. The Bolts have won, 5 in a row now, and picking over plays, and they're starting to play some great hockey, and I think they're going to get even better as they go down the stretch. So we'll talk some hockey as well. There is news on the Stu Sternberg lawsuit front that is very, very interesting, and I'll break that down for you as far as what that means moving forward. We'll get into the Major League Baseball lockout, which I think now is just squarely on the shoulders of the owners and the commissioners. Interesting story going around that Super Devil agent Scott Boras actually tanked the whole deal, that the players were going to agree to it. And he got to Tony Clark late in the proceedings and said, don't do it. So they didn't do it.
I don't even know what you're talking about, but it doesn't surprise me if I'm hearing it.
Yeah.
That guy, everything that guy touches doesn't seem like it's good.
He is the Gordon Gekko of baseball. In this case, greed is not good. Greed is not good in baseball. Everybody's making money, but these people want to make more. And to me, I know the players could have agreed to it and gone and played, but what the owners are talking about is just, it's not fair. It's not fair to the players. I really don't believe it is. And anyway, we can all make our agreements on that. I mean, obviously, the players, it's baseball. You're getting paid a lot of money. You should agree to, some people think you should agree to anything, but that's not the way it should be. It's not. When you look at a guy like Juan Soto, you mentioned this yesterday, who's making the major league minimum and maybe the best player in baseball, that's just wrong. And they're addressing that with a bonus pool for these type of players. But, if it left up to the owners, none of that would exist. None of it would exist. So, we'll get into that as well. All right, we got let's get right into the Brady stuff right away. Do we have the audio of this or just the clip? Did you find the audio from him?
We have just your clip here.
All right, so this is from Get Up this morning. Apologize for the quality of the audio. We took it right on TV screen. It's not able to hear the clip, and then you'll also hear from Ryan Clark, who echoes, I think, what 99.9% of people think about this, quote, Brady retirement. So let's listen.
Wish I had a clear vision of what the future holds, but I think for me, there's a lot of great things ahead and a lot of great opportunities. I know I said right after football season, I was looking forward to spending time with my family, and I've done that the last 5 weeks. And I know there'll be a lot more of that too. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to some golf in the next few days and some more family time, and then we'll figure out where we go from there.
Okay, so look, there are a lot of different ways that RC. I'm trying to read your face there in Indianapolis. What is going through your mind when you hear that?
Tom ain't retired, man. Tom is not. You know what? When he first retired, I was like, this is a man who wouldn't say he's retiring if he didn't want to retire. This is a man who is seen to be very sure about everything in his life. I think Tom don't want to retire. Now, you know what? You know what happens? You get home and your wife is saying, hey, look, I make $88 million a year. We are set. You've made all this money playing. You don't need to work anymore. We need you home. We want you to not have to eat avocado ice cream. We like cookies and creams. We like the cookie dough. We like the Ben and Jerry's. And so they want those things. And they're like, you know what? Giselle's like, hey, Tom, I need you to be here. The kids are like, hey, Pop, let's go play baseball. Let's go throw the ball and pitch it around in the front yard. And he's like, you know what, guys? You're right. Things didn't end well this season. I don't really like the locker room. The temperature there isn't quite right for me. I'm done. And now he's sat around a little bit. He's looked at a little bit of the film from the year, and he said, you know what? I was damn good. I can still really do this. And everybody's asking, Tom, are you truly retired? Hey, guys, if you don't want to do something, we say we don't want to do it. You know, there's some times in the production meetings that Julian is saying, hey, RC, we're going to talk about this. And I'm like, the hell we are, Julian. I'm done. If Tom Brady didn't want the door open, if Tom Brady didn't want to play, he would tell us. This makes me feel that not only is the window or door open in Tampa Bay for him to come back, that Tom just might actually walk through it.
I think that encapsulates a lot of what I'm thinking and a lot of other people are thinking. Now, Mike Tannenbaum, the former general manager who went through the whole Brett Favre thing and trying to keep him with the Jets, they eventually drafted Mark Sanchez and moved on. And I think that's where this kind of lays. Here's how I see what's playing out here. And let me get to the Scott Zolak stuff as well. This is what he said on his show yesterday. We only have just the printed version of it. Let me just read the story from Boston Sports. When Tom Brady took Instagram to announce his retirement for the NFL, he never actually used the word retire in his statement. It started to look like intentional omission. Brady has sidestepped questions about his NFL future and still hasn't officially ruled out a return in 2022. While Bucs head coach Bruce Arians believes the legendary quarterback has shut the door on returning next season, Brady's own words suggest otherwise. Scott Zolak of 98.5, the Sports Hub, is among those who believe Brady will be back in the NFL as soon as 2022. The former Patriots quarterback shared some details Wednesday on Zolak and Bertrand that point to the 7-time Super Bowl champion had a change of heart. Quote, I heard he's throwing. He's not throwing to players. He's throwing to his people. He's staying loose. He ain't done. This story ain't going anywhere. I think he wants to play again in the fall and not Tampa. Let me repeat that. And not Tampa. He continues. If I was him and I was retired, I wouldn't touch that damn football until I'm playing catch with my kids in the backyard. And I think that's echoed by a bunch of other people. This is not how retired people act. Retired people use the word retire. Retired people move on with their life. These interviews that he's doing, none of this is unintentional. None of this is off the cuff. If Tom Brady was serious about retirement, he would come out and say, guys, I told you I'm done every time he did this. Is he doing that?
No.
He's not.
No. And I think when he goes on these shows, like I heard this and I'm like, the Fred Couples Show? I'm like we said at the beginning, didn't even know he had a show, didn't know they had a relationship there. And I'm just like, the Fred Couples Show. Like, is that worth it to you? Really, to go on there? Because if he goes into retirement like this, like, or so or so he says, or not, didn't say, whatever, just lay low a little bit, because everything he says is going to be just totally analyzed, scrutinized to its every word, right?
Yeah.
Like we're doing today.
Yeah.
And he knows that.
Exactly.
He knows that. And he's just throwing this, just more fuel to the fire here on this. And we have to speculate on it. I get it.
Of course we do.
I get it. I still think that
this is the hugest story in football still.
But I do subscribe to the Bruce Arians theory on this, which if we want to play the audio here,
let's play
why he thinks Brady's doing this.
Yes, let's play it.
Surprised if he did eventually decide to come back?
Yeah, because of the reasons he retired.
Do you find it odd at all that he hasn't really firmly slammed the door shut
he slammed his shut when I talked to him. So I think like a lot of these guys, he likes to have his name out there.
Yeah, I subscribe to that theory that he has to have his name out there.
Yeah, because he doesn't have enough fame and notoriety. He needs his name out there.
He's got an ego. He's got an ego.
Of course he does, but
because of
he's not doing this. Oh, I gotta get. I haven't seen my name in Twitter in a couple of days. He's not Kanye. Yeah, he's not doing that. He's Tom freaking Brady. He's got the biggest brand in the world. He doesn't need to keep his name out there like some marginal B-list pop star. Sorry, I didn't mean that, Kanye. He listens. I mean, he doesn't need that. I think, what I think is the bigger story here is what Scott Zolak said, not Tampa.
Well, I think there's more, it's picking up steam on that, right?
Well, and then Bruce said, when I talked to him, he said he's done.
Yeah.
Maybe Tom's not telling you everything, Bruce. Maybe Tom's thinking things that he hasn't said to your face. And I don't mean this derogatorily towards Bruce at all. I think it shows worse character from Tom Brady, to be quite honest. I think Brady he clearly has issues here. The way Bruce painted it on the McAfee show, it's all rainbows and unicorns here in Tampa Bay. There are no problems at all in the locker room. Everything was great. No problems. We just had some injuries. That's Levante David said it. It's everybody was talking about it at the Super Bowl.
And I've been reading more of these quotes from Bruce too, since we last played his audio, going over these little one-on-one things that we just played. And he had another one where he said that he felt like Tom is getting all the credit. And he kind of took the moment to say do
you have that one?
I'm gonna try to effort it, but okay. I know it was something there's 21 other hands in the pile on that one for the Super Bowl, and he felt like Tom got all the credit. And we always said this, that you said that you felt like Bruce never got his credit.
Yeah.
For this team.
Absolutely.
And
I don't think anyone ever gave Bruce Arians any credit for any of this. No, I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair because the only reason that, not the only reason, but a huge reason that Brady came here was because of Bruce Arians over some of those other coaching staffs he was looking at. And, and finding out that he was really, really close to going to the 49ers. And I wonder, what was the reason he did not? Was it that the roster wasn't good enough? I mean, he clearly wanted to upseat or oust Jimmy Garoppolo again. He's got issues with Garoppolo. And I think it's almost like a dating show to me. It's almost like, you know what? You want to get Tom Brady back? I'll tell you how you get Tom Brady back. Start talking about Jimmy Garoppolo being the quarterback here at Tampa Bay. That's how you get. But I'll tell you how to do it, Bruce and Jason. If you're listening, Jason Light here, come here, listen up. All right, start putting it out there in every press conference how much you love Jimmy Garoppolo, right? How much you love Jimmy Garoppolo. It's just like I don't know. Give me some pop reference. Kim Kardashian and Kanye, right? Sure, we'll go back to that.
Go with that one.
Yeah, it's like get out there and just say, if you're Kanye, I'm going out to date some other talentless celebrity. And throw that out there. That'll get Kim's attention. Trust me on that one. You start talking about, I think Jimmy G's a good fit here. With the way he can push the ball down the field. He's smart. He's easy to work with. He's not very demanding. He's much more in the team frame. Just start throwing those things out there and see how fast Tommy comes running. I don't know. I'm half joking, but it just seems that he has a thing about Garoppolo, and now he wants to go to San Francisco and play. And I think Brady, and the more this gets entrenched, and you hear Bruce come out and say 5 number 1 picks, and Jason Light no, and Mike Tannenbaum said this morning is there's no way, it's bad business. Bruce said it, Tannenbaum said it. It's bad business. You don't let him get away. And I don't think Brady likes that. I don't think Brady likes being controlled. I don't think so I think the more the Bucs do that, the less he wants to come play here. I mean, there's obviously some issues here.
Yeah.
I mean, get in a room, big boys, and figure it out.
Yeah. So
you won 29 games in 2 years in a Super Bowl? It wasn't that bad.
No, and I was listening to Dan Patrick yesterday, and he said if there was an actual rift between these guys, looking at Tom Brady's numbers from this past season, I'd love to see what it's like if there wasn't none.
I know.
You know?
I mean, of course there's going to be turmoil and you got all these alpha. We talked about this yesterday. All these alpha males in there. There's, if Brady's looking for the perfect situation where he's in control of everything and calling every play, and I think that's misguided because you can't be in control of everything. Football's it's a complex game, as he knows, and you need the head coach has to handle the roster and the GM have to handle the roster, and you go do your job, and you can't do everybody's job, Tom. And I don't, and you know what? If there was, and clearly there was some stuff going on, come on out and say it on all these interviews you're doing. What was the issue? Or better yet, just get into $1 place with Gronk. I hear Gronk's working out there a couple times a week now. That's out there. So get in there with Gronk, sit down with Jason Light and Bruce and Byron and the whole team, figure out what you want. And I'm pretty sure they'll give you whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
To stay. I mean, they'll kiss your ass one side and up and down the other.
I got the actual quote right here that I was trying to find.
Okay.
He said, unbelievable ride these last 2 years. I've got to say, though, Tom got all the credit. A lot of other guys had a hand in the pile. It wasn't all just Tom Brady.
Where's that from?
That was him yesterday speaking with reporters at the Combine. And I mean, just reading that, it sounds like I don't know if bitter's too strong of a word.
That's bitter.
But it kind of comes off like that.
Bitter, party of one. Yeah, absolutely. But again, I agree with Bruce.
I do agree with him. My thing with that quote is that something that you hear head coaches usually say?
No.
Right at this moment?
No.
It's not. It's not really a normal thing to say, I think. And I think that was him getting, he got bombarded with all these Brady questions, this and that. And as a head coach, he's probably thinking, listen, I'm moving on, right?
Right.
At least in the perception, I'm moving on and we're going to win games because I'm a damn good coach and we got good players and I'm tired of hearing about Tom Brady. I mean, I have to think maybe there's some element of that in Bruce's mind.
Well, and if I'm Tom Brady, I'm sitting back and, if you believe these reports that he wants to go to San Francisco and play for the 49ers. And by the way, he did speak about, hey, I'm going to see my parents on their turf today, and I'm going to sleep in my bed that I slept in when I was a kid, which of course is in San Francisco, San Mateo.
Yeah.
Oh, this nostalgic about returning to San Francisco. I was like, we're reading all this stuff so cryptically, right?
If he's going to say it cryptically, then we're going to speculate cryptically.
Well, if you're going to be all nostalgic, right? It's just like a little bit of I want to go. If I play in San Francisco, I can sleep in the bed I slept in when I was
and I can see mom and daddy every single night.
That's part of it. It's part of it. His parents have had a lot of health issues lately. So, I mean, there's a lot to that. And there's a lot of family pull right now. And, maybe Giselle thinks that San Francisco is a much better place than Tampa Bay.
Well, my thing with that, though, and I think we jumped into this a little bit yesterday, and Bruce said, we're not trading. It was bad business. He joked 5 ones.
Yep.
If Tom Brady tells them tomorrow, I want to come back, but I don't want to play for you, and the Bucs still have that year on his contract. And remember, Tom Brady signed an extension.
That's right.
He signed an extension that who knows if Brady wanted that extension or the Bucs went to him about the extension. I don't know. But if he hadn't signed that extension, Tom Brady would be a free agent right now.
That's right.
And he'd be free to do whatever he wants.
And the reason he signed it was to open up more cap room.
Yeah, exactly. He did that.
To get
That's
more
right.
players.
He did it as a favor for the Bucs to open up cap room.
And also to, as he's done all year, be able to bring in more players to help him win.
Fair point.
Yeah.
But my point is, it's like if he comes tomorrow and said, or today, tomorrow, whatever, and says, I want to play, I don't want to play for you. I mean, is Bruce Arians, can you imagine the Bucs really holding the greatest quarterback of all time hostage like that?
Did you hear the rhetoric?
And saying no?
Did you hear Light and Arians? We played the audio yesterday.
Yeah.
If you want to replay it. Is there anything in their tone or their words that and what Mike Tannenbaum said today, this is how general managers think. There's no way. You're not going to a division. You're not going to a conference rival to beat me unless you give us a lot of assets. And, here, and unfortunately, the dumbass 49ers, I shouldn't say that because we love John Lynch, but they gave up all their assets for Trey Lance.
Yes.
So what do they have left to give? We don't want him, do we?
It would make sense with Trask already here.
No, that makes no sense. and I know he showed a little flashes of great athletic ability, but we have no idea if he's an NFL quarterback yet.
I don't think they do.
And I don't think they do. It's why they're pursuing Tom Brady, by the way. And they already have Jimmy Garoppolo, who's taking him to an NFC Championship game and within a snap of doing it again.
Yeah, and in further reading, I'm just trying to connect the dots here. John Lynch turned down $15 million to return to broadcasting, by the way.
Yeah,
he revealed that yesterday.
Oh, he did?
He did. And you don't think maybe he's thinking, let me give it a shot. Let me see if I can get Tom again. Because they tried. They've already tried. Let me see if I can keep going.
Well, that tells me, honestly, I didn't know that. That tells me that he's pretty confident he's getting Tom Brady.
At least he wants to try again. Give it one last effort.
And this is why I think the Bucs have cooled on all the talk of Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson and Aaron Rodgers and Jimmy Garoppolo and everybody else. This is why Arians is out there pimping Gabbert and Trask and letting Brady know, no, we're not going to make the mistake that the Jets did in that situation and go draft a quarterback in the first round, thus, investing in something for the future where now that made Brett Favre expendable.
Yeah.
They're going to leave the door open, leave the light on and say, look, if you're going to play, it's going to be in Tampa Bay.
And listen, too, there's another element to this, and it's the fans. And like we've said, going with the Blaine Gabbert option, the Kyle Trask option, maybe the fans don't want to hear that,
Of course they don't.
But when it gets around March now and April, and there's that excitement for what's next, the next 6 months, you got to sell it, I guess. I mean, that's the only thing I think. They're selling it to the fans pretty hard, are they not?
Well, they are, but I think like we discussed yesterday, the Bucs, they put their options up on a whiteboard. They say, okay, Rodgers, this is what it's going to cost. They've talked to Seattle and they know what Russell Wilson's going to cost. They've talked to the Packers. They know what that's going to cost. They know what Deshaun Watson's going to cost, or they've decided whether he's on their board or not from an organizational standpoint. They've looked at Garoppolo and clearly said that's not something we want to do. I think the Jameis Winston option has sailed. That's dead. And don't forget he's coming off a torn ACL. I'm trying to think who else is out there. Carson Wentz. No. These are the options. And I think they looked at it and said, okay, unless Seattle comes and meets our price or Green Bay comes and meets our price, we're not going up any further. Then this is our best option is these two guys and leave the light on for Brady.
And if you were to bring in a Garoppolo or you bring in a Carson Wentz, a Teddy Bridge, one of those guys like that you would probably think is a bridge option, you give them a 1-year deal, right? See what they got.
Right.
If you bring in that guy and you got to commit 10 to 15, maybe 20 for one of those guys.
A year?
10 to 20 million is probably you're probably gonna have to spend to get one of those guys just because of the way the quarterback market is.
Probably, yeah, because there's a lot.
Yeah, if you throw your eggs into that basket, it's like even if Tom says, I want to come back and I want to play for y'all, you're stuck at that point. You can't, it'd be really
which is
hard.
Why they're going to go with Gabbert and Trask.
It's why, like you said, it makes more sense to go with Gabbert because you're not stuck that way.
Right. And how much are these guys an upgrade over Gabbert?
I still think they are an upgrade. I do. But if you
we don't know.
But if you want
Trask.
If you want to hold out for the Tom Brady comeback, I mean, we would all agree probably Tom Brady coming back right now would be the single best option, even
100%.
Beyond trading anybody.
1,000%. And you got to leave that light on. My question is, why haven't the Bucs and Brady, or maybe they have, sat down and said, why not Tampa?
I have to think those have happened behind the scenes, those discussions, I think. It maybe not, though. I mean, you said you don't think Tom's telling Bruce the entire story. Either that or Bruce is not being honest with the media. And either two, I could see.
Bruce has always been honest with the media, and I think Bruce has had, but look, that quote right there that you said, there's been a couple of quotes that he said that aren't necessarily ingratiating, that I wouldn't necessarily put out there if I was romancing a quarterback.
Yes.
And that's one of them.
Exactly. That's one where I don't know if he slipped up or he just got to a point in these, like I said, he's been asked these questions for 2 straight days now, and it's going to continue all week. And he's like, I've had enough about hearing about Tom Brady. Like, there's a whole nother team there. Yeah. And he is right. He is right. But you cannot discredit what Tom did. You can't.
And I don't think he's trying to discredit it. I think he's trying to credit everybody else that worked their ass off and helped win this Super Bowl and win these games.
Yes. But unfortunately, like when I read, I went down this entire thread here of comments and people saying, and the discussion was, how many quarterbacks would you put on that team that would win with that team? And we've had that discussion. I mean, how many quarterbacks you think in the league you put with that team win a Super Bowl besides Tom Brady?
Maybe a couple.
It's a fair
maybe
argument.
A Rodgers, maybe
as we've said from
a Russell Wilson.
Yeah, we've said from a culture standpoint, he's exactly the quarterback you needed. So like people are always going to give the quarterback credit. When it's Tom Brady, that's the law of the land. He's getting the credit.
What is the see if you can play this one. Do you still have that one? The false reports of rift between he and Brady. It's a lot of profanity in this one between Pat McAfee and Bruce Arians. And he also, just to remind you, if he said if Brady comes back, the door is always open. The door is always open for him. So, I mean, Bruce has been magnanimous in many ways, but also has said a few things that, are a little, I won't say insulting to Tom, but not as, again, you wouldn't say if you were romancing somebody. And I think that's just Arians, I think we've said this, one of the axioms of the show is your greatest strength can also be your biggest weakness. That goes for Jameis Winston and most of us. I think one of Bruce's great strengths is his authenticity. I think people and players especially gravitate towards him because he's so honest and he's candid and he doesn't bullshit. I think that's, as a coach, it's a great quality to have. Now, when you're out in the media and so much of this is, this NFL time of the year is about lies and subterfuge and trying to figure out and keep things quiet under wraps. Bruce is not the best guy to be out there in front of hundreds of microphones because he's going to be honest, and sometimes that's to the team's detriment. So let's play this one. This is the conversation with Pat McAfee.
There was a erroneous report that came out, and I think it has been proven false. And by the way, AQ, is my guy. If he's leaking information to other people Shipley and not me, I'm going to fucking cut him out of my goddamn circle as well there. But his name was linked to it, which is bullshit, I think, just in general. But that entire report about, there may be being some friction between you and Tom, and then what you said today about if he comes back, he's playing for you guys. Is there anything that people from outside looking in should think of that, or is it all bullshit, basically, just standard bullshit?
Standard bullshit. I mean, I'm still pissed that AQ got stuck in that because he had nothing to do with that.
Me too.
And I know where Rich is coming from. I mean, he just made up some shit. It clicks, brother.
Yeah, well, it's a wild world, and we're in it, and we try not to be like that. But everything that people say on this show does cause some ripple effects. So we appreciate.
I mean, is Bruce going to, first of all, I don't think Bruce feels that there was a rift. And I think Tom is a lot of this stuff that Tom is talking about to other people. And clearly he is. I mean, I'm sorry. If you believe that everything was rainbows and unicorns, you're wrong. You're 100% wrong. I mean, there's way too much stuff there. And Brady, I hate to say it this way, but he's not courageous enough to come out and say what was wrong and what went wrong. Maybe because he's embarrassed. Maybe, what's he going to say? I didn't like the way the AB thing was handled. Well, what was Bruce supposed to do? What's he going to say? I didn't like, Bruce coming in and having an input in the game plan. He's the head coach, for God's sakes. So maybe that's what Brady is telling, his friends and confidants is like, Arians didn't what he was doing or this, that, and the other. Tom's not going to say that to Bruce, right? So, I mean, we can go all through this and speculate and do all this stuff. The bottom line is these guys, Tom Brady needs to realize he's not playing in San Francisco. He's not. I think the Bucs are dead set against the only way he plays in San Francisco is if we get to August 14th and Brady says he's not coming back. And meanwhile, he's putting out videos of him, ripping throws, saying, I want to play, but I don't want to play in Tampa, and then all the fans are like, come on, Tampa, why don't you let him go? And you know what? You know what we do? The finger. You give the finger to everybody.
To Tom Brady. Say,
we need a first-round pick. All right? We need a couple of first-round picks. John Lynch. But they've given him up. They don't even have him, right? What are we going to throw us Garoppolo? Not interested. All right, you want to throw us Garoppolo and Deebo Samuel? All right, now we can start to talk. Yeah, that's the way it's going to go down. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Within a month, we're going to start seeing the Brady videos leak out, and then he's going to put it through his intermediaries. Oh, I don't want to go back to Tampa because he's not man enough to come out and say it. I said it.
I know you did.
I'm pissed at Brady.
I just think it's talk right now. I think this is talk. This is Bruce and Jay's. They're being asked questions. They got to answer it some way. They can say what are they supposed to say? Yeah, we'll give them up to San Francisco.
Yeah, for the good of the league. For the fans.
Come on.
No,
if Tom Brady
this is
truly
business.
but if Tom Brady truly said he wanted to come back, I just have a hard time believing this organization for what Tom Brady did for them is going to be like, nah.
Oh, okay. Let's get into this. All right. What Tom Brady did what did Tom Brady get out of it? He came to a ready-made Super Bowl team, a great roster. And listen, the Bucs don't win it without him. He doesn't win it in New England. Sorry, not with that team. To act like he came here and it was this magnanimous thing and it was all for Tampa Bay fans and blah, 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 blah. No, it wasn't. It was for his self-interest as much as everybody else's. Don't get it twisted. He didn't come, oh, poor Tampa Bay. I think I'll go there and give them a Super Bowl. That's what I'm going to. No. He was like, where can I go? Let me see. Ooh, Mike Evans. Ooh, Chris Godwin.
Of course, every player's like that.
Look at that offensive line. Arians, Leftwich. I like this. You got a nice defense there, too. It's warm weather. Tommy and Gronky. Get a nice house on the water. Do some jet skiing. Yeah, that looks kind of good. This wasn't, poor Tampa Bay. Let's go give. No,
I'm not saying that, but
he didn't give. Don't act like, he gave us a Super Bowl.
He did.
Well, you think it was how much? Give me a percentage of self-interest there.
I mean, every player has their own self-interest.
Of course, but don't act like this was.
He put the Bucs.
This was just as much, but it was just as much in his self-interest.
Well, of course, it was.
All right. Well, then there.
I just have a hard time believing they're going to hold him hostage like that.
Well,
there's no way. There's no way they're going to do that.
What? It's bad business. It's bad business. Just like Bruce said, it's bad business.
It might be.
So
bad
you're gonna go give San Francisco, who's got a ready-made roster, who you have to. So you want to go get So what if Kyle Trask or God forbid Gabbert or somebody we bring in who knows who Deshaun Watson. Maybe somehow that whole thing works out. And we are ripping through the South, and we get to the NFC Championship game, and who do we play? Tom Brady, who we gave away to the 49ers for nothing because we're good guys. Bullshit. No. No.
It might be bad business.
You're a Bucs fan, for God's sake. You're not a Tom Brady fan.
I'm trying to be realistic.
You're not a Tom Brady. You're a Bucs fan.
I'm being realistic.
Well, be loyal to your team, not the mercenary.
I'm being realistic.
I don't think Tom's coming on my show ever.
No, I think you burned the bridge the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, it wasn't going to happen. I'm keeping it real, though, and I wish a lot of other people would keep. It's like nobody wants to say the emperor has no clothes on. Listen, he's a great football player. He's an awesome leader. He is everything that he deserves on the field. But some of this other stuff, I'm not so down with it. I'm not so down with the 4-minute press conferences after games. I'm not so down with the fact that he refused to in any way involve himself in this community while he was here. I'm not so down with any of it.
What do you want him to do?
I want him to be like every other.
At this event and that event and this event and this Lightning game and that Rays game.
Why not? You can't go to a Lightning game?
That's not Tom Brady.
Gronk did it. Gronk got involved in the community. Gronk owns a restaurant here. Gronk did all this stuff.
The level of star from Rob Gronkowski to Tom Brady is still a heavy.
I'm sorry. So you can't get involved in Tampa Bay, and you got to move to Miami.
It's different for him. It is different for him.
Well, doesn't mean I have to like it.
You don't have to like it, but I'm just telling you, there's different rules for Tom Brady.
I am not just for the good of the game. F that. You want him? Pay up.
I'm just saying, Tom Brady.
It's business.
Tom Brady.
As much as I love the NFL and I love the fans, this is business. If you want to get him, pay up.
I'm just saying, Tom Brady in 2 years has done more for this franchise than most have ever done. Most.
Agreed.
Okay?
Agreed.
So whatever Tom Brady wants, like I said, I got my Super Bowl. Okay. I got my Brady jerseys. I got all that. You could send him wherever you want, as far as I'm concerned.
Kaiki 101 says Tampa was his third, fourth choice. He wanted 49ers and Dolphins before them. Well, then why didn't he go there?
He wanted 49ers and Dolphins?
Well, yeah, I don't understand this. Well, why didn't he go there? He was a free agent. He could have gone wherever he wanted to. That doesn't make any sense, Kaiki 101. Sorry.
Because Jimmy Garoppolo was
the
at
teammates
San Francisco. It's the only quarterback that's ever threatened Tom Brady, and all of you Bucs fans don't want him here.
The teammates that on the team said Tom motivated them to win. So Bruce has no way like that. He didn't want Brown, but they got him because of Tom Brady. Of course, yeah. And we talked about that. But he was a free agent. You can't how could you make that statement that Tampa was his third choice? He could go wherever he wanted to. It makes no sense, bro. So yeah, it's just I'm not hating on Tom Brady, the player, but a lot of this cryptic stuff, and I think Tampa Bay fans, I'm sorry, but I think Tampa Bay fans in about a month and a half are going to be speaking a lot like I am, and we can go back and get this show, and you're going to start seeing a lot of fans saying the same things I'm saying right now. Once they realize that Tom's not coming back here, and if he's got a problem, you're doing all these interviews. You got a problem. Why did Scott Zolak, who's one of his confidants as well, say he's coming back? Not Tampa.
How close is Scott Zolak to Tom Brady? Really?
I don't know.
I mean, we got all these confidants.
I don't have his phone with me.
We got all these confidants left
and right. A lot
of
confidants.
Okay, I don't even know. I hardly know
who
who these people are. They were a teammate for him for 6 months in 2004. Like now they know everything about Tom Brady.
I think Zolak was a little bit more. I'll have to look it up, but I'm sorry. I first of all, I think it's a fascinating conversation for sports radio, and who agrees with me? I think that this is, we need to start looking at Tom Brady with a little bit more side eye than maybe I think with this, slobbering, effusive bow down to the God that is Tom Brady.
I will bow down. I will bow down. Okay. I'm not ashamed to admit it. There were tears that came out of these eyes during games from 2007 to 2019.
I get that.
And there were tears.
So who was a bigger fan
February
than me?
of 21. There were tears when I saw Tom Brady win a Super Bowl.
Who was the first to say Tom Brady's coming here? Who was the first to report that he was coming here?
I get that.
But I'm also the first to report that I don't like what he's doing right now. I don't like it.
This is typical. And I said, I subscribe to the Bruce Arians theory. The name has got to be out there. He knows what he's doing. He's putting the name out there.
Tom Brady does not need to self-promote.
He wants the question to linger. He wants it to linger.
Well, I do think he wants to start ramping up the pressure on the Bucs to allow him to play somewhere else. I do believe that. I think that's his ultimate goal now is to get public pressure on the Bucs to allow him to play for one more year in San Francisco. And I hope Jason Light, who is beholden to Brady and loves Brady, and I know Bruce Arians loves him too, and they all feel a lot like you do. But there is friendship and there is business, and this is business. And if the 49ers want him, come get him, and bring Deebo Samuel with you.
It's not happening.
Well, then you ain't getting him.
It's not.
You ain't getting him. Then you ain't getting him. We need a third receiver, by the way. Just so happens.
Oh, do you think he's the third receiver, huh?
Yeah, well, was he better than AB?
Yes.
Well, maybe now he is. Yeah. But okay. So we shall see how this plays out. Because guess what? This is day 30 in what will be day 180.
It's only March 3rd.
I think it goes to August too.
Man. I hope
it's a showdown. It's going to be a showdown.
I hope the Bucs sign a quarterback on March 16th at 4:00 when free agency opens, and I hope Brady says the word retire at 5:00 and it's over. That's what I hope happens here.
Well, we shall see. There's a lot of things stirring, and it's going to be fascinating to watch what happens. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back on the other side. The Stu Sternberg lawsuit took another turn yesterday, and a judge, she said this is going forward, that Stu Sternberg might be removed as the managing general partner of the Rays. Stay with us. Hey, folks, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center, a very different kind of approach to primary care. Personalized preventative medicine, not a one-pill-fits-all mentality. Christopher Lugo and his experienced medical staff are proactive in looking at issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. Rather than the impersonal, rushed approach, you will be the only patient and will have our full attention. That's new. Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. Bay Area Modern Medical Centers are experts in anti-aging regenerative medicine that optimizes your body's performance in many areas. So call for an appointment to get started on a journey back to full health and a happy life with a new, modern way of healthcare. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. JP here for my friend, attorney Christopher Palermo. If you are having issues with a claim on your homeowner's insurance from a sinkhole, storm damage, water intrusion, defective stucco, and construction defects, or any other issue, Christopher is your man. These big insurance companies didn't get rich paying out what you deserve. Chris founded his practice in 2009 with a passion to help all Floridians with disputes where they were forced to take on the powerful and needed a champion in their corner. Chris wants to make sure you will receive the most aggressive and compassionate representations. He has recovered millions in settlements on behalf of his clients facing defective stucco damage and other construction issues. So call Chris, mention the JP Show, and he will give you a free consultation. That's 813-221-5636 or go to PalermoPA.com. He's a fifth-generation Tampanian graduate of Jesuit High School and the University of Florida, and he cares deeply about you and the community. That's 221-5636 or PalermoPA.com. Homeowners, listen up. Property values have risen in the Tampa Bay area to record levels, some up to 24% in 1 year. It's time to refinance your home and pull out the equity before rates go through the roof. Call my man Scott Fitzgerald at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Scott believes interest rates will be over 5 very soon due to the volatile economy and inflation, but you can still lock in the mid-3s, but not for long. This means you can save tens of thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. Now, Scott is an independent broker, so he can shop your mortgage around for the best rates, and he will pay for your appraisal if you mention you heard it here on the JP Show. That's a $500 to $700 value. Scott does not charge the huge upfront fees like the big banks do. In this uncertain economy and political climate, better to have cash in hand now. So call Scott at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. The PGA Tour's Valspar Championship is back in March in 2022, March 14th through the 20th, right in the middle of the best weather of the year and the last stop on the Florida swing. The Valspar has become one of the must-do events on the Tampa Bay sports and social calendar, so get your best tickets before they sell out. The game's biggest stars love the Copperhead course at Innisbrook. Last year, we saw Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth wow the crowds, and another star-studded field is expected again this year. Sam Burns took the title and will defend again at the Copperhead. This will be a full tournament with the return of Valspar Live, our free Saturday concert featuring Chris Young and Big and Rich, and other amenities including Chameleon Cove, the Hooters Owl's Nest, the Publix Chill Lounge, and other hospitality venues. Go to ValsparChampionship.com for tickets. The best premium hospitality areas will sell out, so don't wait. That's ValsparChampionship.com. Are you selling your home or refinancing? JP here for Greenleaf Title. You choose the title company, not the realtor, and it makes a difference. You want a reputable company that will make sure your title is safe and secure. There are a lot of scammers out there right now, so go with a trusted company like Greenleaf Title. Plus, they will close anywhere, folks, and they will send a limo to pick you up to come to the closing. Yep, the great JP Limo Closing is back. All you got to do is give them a call at 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. We'll set up the limo for you. They'll come pick you up. Heck, we even picked up one couple, took them to Black Rock Restaurant, one of our favorite advertisers, and then to the closing. That's how they do it at Greenleaf Title. Great service. Will close anywhere. The lowest fees in the business.
727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. That's greenleaftitle.com.
Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. If you're feeling run down, your workout sucks, or your sexual libido is not what it used to be, check out Bay Area Modern Medical Center. That happened to me a few years ago, and I found out I had the testosterone level of a second-grade girl. That's not good. Our food, environment, and stress can cause your T levels to drop. Bay Area Modern Medical Center can help, and they are different. They offer customized hormone replacement for both men and women. Christopher Lugo and his medical staff can help you restore your energy, your sex drive, and your feelings of well-being. It was a total game changer for me. I have way more energy, lost 30 pounds, and I'm performing better in all areas of my life. Nobody wants to talk about sexual health, but it's key to a balanced life. We offer discreet treatments with real-world results. So if you're suffering from a lack of interest in sex, ED, or lack of sexual stamina, Dr. Lugo and his staff can help. Take your health care to the next level at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show with JP on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back. We are brought to you by the law offices of Christopher Palermo, our good friend, who I'm trying to get on the show tomorrow to kind of explain some of the legalese going on with Stu Sternberg here. And as you know, Christopher Palermo is fighting for your rights and protecting your home in sinkhole, hurricane, roof damage, defective stucco, and construction defects. He will fight the builders as well as the big insurance companies, making sure you get all you deserve. So if you've had some new construction recently and there's some issues with that and you don't think you have any recourse, you do. Let Chris Palermo handle it. Call him at 813-221-5636. That's 221-5636. Go to PalermoPA.com. You'll get a free consultation if you mention the show. Tell him you heard it on JP and just say, hey, look, I'm trying to get this for my insurance company. I don't think they're paying us enough money, or I think my builder cut some corners, which is happening with all the supply chains, and whether it's commercial or residential, he can handle it. 813-221-5636. All right, so this is the news this morning. It actually happened yesterday. They went to court again. This involves the lawsuit from the minority partners against Stu Sternberg, who are alleging fraud and scheming and financial mismanagement. How it works with baseball is you have basically have a managing general partner, and that is Stu Sternberg, one person that is appointed. It doesn't necessarily mean they have the most shares. And in the beginning, Stu did not have the most shares of this team. He bought in, I think, at 49%. So what baseball does is they want one point person, and they give that point person all the power in these agreements. You don't have the power to be fiduciarily incompetent or damage the other partners, make decisions that are in their financial interest and against the other partners. That is fiduciary malfeasance, and you can't do that. And that's what these other partners are alleging. And based with all the evidence, the mountain of evidence that they presented in this lawsuit, they have great standing to move forward on this case. Now, there's where the case has been, and what they want in one of the counts is to have him removed as the managing general partner and have someone else or one of the other people within this lawsuit or someone else be appointed to basically become the owner and controller of this team. And how that would affect the Rays in this situation is, in my opinion, anybody else would love to pay for half a stadium and put it in Ybor City, where you have the 11th largest market right now, probably moving into the top 10. As Ken Hagan told us a month and a half ago, projections are another 400,000 to 500,000 people moving into the Hillsborough County area. That's just Hillsborough County within the next 5 years, which would make this a top 7 or 8 market. And I mean, you know how many owners in baseball would switch with a brand new stadium in a market this big, that's in the middle of the market, not on the fringe of the market, with a team this good moving forward. It's a home run, obviously, financially for anybody, but Stu Sternberg, who just, for whatever reason, does not want to part with any of his money. And it's probably because of all these legal issues that are up right now, which is all the more reason Rob Manfred needs to step in here, remove him, as the managing general partner, have him sell his shares and walk away with his 1.4 billion, 1.5 billion, whatever it is, and just let somebody else come here and take over the franchise. Maybe that will be Derek Jeter, who leads another ownership group here in the Tampa Bay area. I know for a fact that Jeter's ownership group was interested in buying the Rays when they bought the Marlins, and Stu Sternberg was not interested in selling, obviously, because he was printing money with the Rays. And of course, as our good friend Bob Melandro, who does basically brokers financial deals for ownership groups in all sports, says that if this right now, the Rays are worth probably Forbes would say 1.2 billion. They're usually about 20-30% less than what teams actually sell for. So I would say it's about 1.5 billion. And he said the worth of the franchise would go up by probably 800 million to another billion. Like it would be in the 2.2s, 2.3s area. So that's why he wouldn't want to sell. But it also shows you why it's a great business deal. I mean, who wouldn't do a deal where it increases your franchise value by that much? It's all about Sternberg trying to squeeze every little penny out of Trop redevelopment and hold them hostage, and squeeze every little penny out of Hillsborough County, and not being a good partner here locally in St. Pete or in Hillsborough, not making it easy, never being a partner, right? I mean, this is the jackass that wanted to put up a sign in the middle of the playoffs saying, hey, we're going to Montreal. I mean, talk about tone deaf. And you saw how Major League Baseball slapped him down for that. And if you think that apology from Stu Sternberg was some magnanimous thing that he came to on his own, no. No, he was told to do that. And in my opinion. So no. And this is where this needs to go. So here's what happened yesterday. And shocking development. The Times actually printed a story on it and published it 4 hours ago because I was getting ready to shame them for not covering any part of this. Group of minority Tampa Bay Rays owners can proceed with a part of a lawsuit seeking to expel Stuart Sternberg as a general partner in the team, a judge ruled on Wednesday. The lawsuit, filed in May and amended in October, alleges that Sternberg withheld financial and strategic information while buying up shares from other limited partners, increasing his personal stake in the team at the expense of the partnership that governs it. Sternberg has sought to have the case settled through arbitration rather than a jury trial. He wants to keep everything secret. I'm adding that to it. We continue with the story. On 5 of the 6 counts in the lawsuits, all alleging fraud and breach of fiduciary duty and asking for a full review of the team's finances, Pinellas Pasco Circuit Judge Amy Williams agreed, deeming elements of the original team partnership agreement written in 1995 and signed by Sternberg in 2004 vague enough to warrant independent arbitration. So the judge is basically saying these counts of fraud, breach of fiduciary duty, these are serious issues, folks. This is like stealing money from people. All right, this is stealing money from people. And if you read the lawsuit, the way he went about it, and forcing people to sell when there's deaths in the family and their trust is involved, and either pay the tax bill or I'll buy them from you on 15 cents on a dollar. It's a serious, grossly unethical behavior. Which begs the question, why is Major League Baseball, why would you want a businessman in your group of owners who does things like this to fellow owners? Not cool. All right, the story continues. The 6th count, she said, was, quote, a different bird. That partnership agreement stipulates that a general partner can be removed via majority vote by other general partners. According to the lawsuit, Sternberg became managing partner after acquiring 49% of the team in 2004. By 2020, he had increased his stake to 85% by buying other general partnership stakes, including those held by the family of former owner Vince Damoli, making him both managing partner and sole general partner. Okay, so you have to understand this. So by denying his fiduciary responsibility to his other partners, which he's legally bound to do. You following this? I know it's hard for me to understand, but I finally got it. So by basically breaking the law or using unethical business dealings in acquiring all these other stakes of the general partnerships, he became the sole general partner. Okay, so follow this, because Sternberg is the Rays' sole general partner now, quote from the judge, it isn't very likely that he's going to choose to vote himself out. This is said attorney Courtney Fernald of St. Petersburg law firm Englander, representing the minority owner. That made the limited partners powerless to remove the general partner, no matter how reprehensible his conduct might be. So his scheme was to buy up all those general partner shares, thus becoming the sole general partner, and then they can't remove him. And he did it unethically and denying his fiduciary responsibility. See, how this works is these other partial owners that are suing him, they had no access to any of the business records, even though Sternberg was supposed to be giving them annual reports. He never did. He would never disclose how much he was paying himself or Matt Silverman or Brian Auld or anybody else. Wouldn't disclose any of that information to these minority partners, would not disclose how much money he was making off this, off that, off the new television agreement, whether he got a huge upfront payment, didn't disclose any of that stuff, which he was legally bound to do, and thus, from a very illegal way, gathered all of these shares and became the sole general partner, and then making him basically unremovable at that point, which is not the way this is supposed to work. He completely circumvented the process, and this is why they're suing him. So this is what the judge agreed with. Williams, the judge, concurred that a trial would be the most viable option. Now, this is a nuclear thing for Stu Sternberg. Quote, there would be no other way in a situation like this for a general partner to be removed. It wouldn't be possible, she wrote. The lawsuit was filed by 5 limited partners who own a combined 9.6% of the team: Robert Kleinert, Gary Markell, McDougall Family Limited Partnership, Stephen M. Waters, and a trust bearing Waters' name. Their suit only seeks to remove Sternberg as general partner, not majority partner. If it happens, according to the partnership agreement, he could be compelled to sell the general partnership stakes he's acquired since 2004. So basically, they want to go back and turn back the clock before his unethical behavior. The Rays, in a statement last year, called the lawsuit deceptive and fraught with error and falsehood. Of course they did. So basically what this boils down to is the judge is going to let this go to a jury trial. And in no way does Major League Baseball want to open up the Rays books. Or maybe they do, because there's a lot of owners that don't like Stu. But there's no way Major League Baseball is going to allow this to happen. So their only recourse at this point, Major League Baseball, at least the way I see it, is they have to do what they did to Vince DeMolay and remove him as the managing general partner. That would satisfy the other general partners, and then this doesn't go to a jury trial, which is something that baseball does not want, and Stu Sternberg does not want, because what that means is not only are his finances, but other Major League Baseball finances going to be shown in the light of day. And especially with the CBA going on right now and all this acrimony, there is no way Major League Baseball wants that out in the open. Zero, nada. So to me, for this going to a jury trial, and of course the Rays will appeal this, but if this goes to a jury trial, this is a disaster for Stu Sternberg and a disaster for Major League Baseball. So it in my estimation, and a couple of lawyers that I've talked to and some baseball people, this is not something that Major League Baseball will allow to happen. Like, no way this thing goes to a jury trial. They're either going to remove him or and these partners are not looking for money. They want him removed. So this is not good for Stu Sternberg. It's not good. And I'll add to that the fact that over the last month or so, since the sister city thing went down and he was trying to coerce all these major businessmen into supporting this sister city plan, and that thing time where all these folks signed onto it, a lot of those people feel like they were hoodwinked. Like I told you at the time when it happened, they feel even more so now, they were hoodwinked because of that false narrative that they were fed and believed that it was half or nothing, because clearly that was false, because that's not the way it is anymore. So going through all that, this lawsuit, as we said from the very beginning, is going to cause Stu Sternberg a lot of problems, but I think it's definitely in the best interest of the fans, because I think it gets the stadium done quicker and gets it done for sure. if he is removed. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, I think we're going to be able to head up to the Combine and get Dan Lucas on. He's been up there listening to all the Bruce Arians and Jason Light press conferences and hearing all the scuttlebutt about Tom Brady, whether he's coming back or not. So hopefully we can get him on because he got a lot of different interviews he's doing up there. So we're going to try to wedge this in the gap when we come back. Homeowners, listen up. Property values have risen in the Tampa Bay area to record levels, some up to 24% in 1 year. It's time to refinance your home and pull out the equity before rates go through the roof. Call my man Scott Fitzgerald at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Scott believes interest rates will be over 5 very soon due to the volatile economy and inflation, but you can still lock in the mid-3s, but not for long. This means you can save tens of thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. Now, Scott is an independent broker, so he can shop your mortgage around for the best rates, and he will pay for your appraisal if you mention you heard it here on the JP Show. That's a $500 to $700 value. Scott does not charge the huge upfront fees like the big banks do. In this uncertain economy and political climate, better to have cash in hand now. So call Scott at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Hey, folks, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center, a very different kind of approach to primary care. Personalized preventative medicine, not a one-pill-fits-all mentality. Christopher Lugo and his experienced medical staff are proactive in looking at issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. Rather than the impersonal, rushed approach, you will be the only patient and will have our full attention. That's new. Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. Bay Area Modern Medical Centers are experts in anti-aging regenerative medicine that optimizes your body's performance in many areas. So call for an appointment to get started on a journey back to full health and a happy life with a new, modern way of healthcare. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. JP here for my friend, attorney Christopher Palermo. If you are having issues with a claim on your homeowner's insurance from a sinkhole, storm damage, water intrusion, defective stucco, and construction defects, or any other issue, Christopher is your man. These big insurance companies didn't get rich paying out what you deserve. Chris founded his practice in 2009 with a passion to help all Floridians with disputes where they were forced to take on the powerful and needed a champion in their corner. Chris wants to make sure you will receive the most aggressive and compassionate representations. He has recovered millions in settlements on behalf of his clients facing defective stucco damage and other construction issues. So call Chris, mention the JP Show, and he will give you a free consultation. That's 813-221-5636 or go to PalermoPA.com. He's a fifth-generation Tampanian graduate of Jesuit High School and the University of Florida, and he cares deeply about you and the community. That's 221-5636 or PalermoPA.com. The PGA Tour's Valspar Championship is back in March in 2022, March 14th through the 20th, right in the middle of the best weather of the year and the last stop on the Florida swing. The Valspar has become one of the must-do events on the Tampa Bay sports and social calendar, so get your best tickets before they sell out. The game's biggest stars love the Copperhead course at Innisbrook. Last year, we saw Dustin Johnson. I love it when some of our listeners start speculating like I do. I'm going to give you something from our good friend Richie P here in a little bit. But right now, welcome back to the second hour of the JP Peterson Show presented by the Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Christopher Lugo and his great medical team over there will get you right with true personalized medicine designed just for you and keep you healthy before you get sick. That's how they do it over there. Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. All right, let's welcome in our good friend Dan Lucas, who's on a tight schedule up there, WFLA News Channel 8, up at the Combine. How are you, my friend?
JP, doing very well, my man. You know what's weird about being in Indy this week? It's not cold.
Really?
It's usually when you come here, you freeze.
Yeah.
And it's like 60 degrees. People are walking around in shorts and riding the scooters. It's almost like a summertime here. It's bizarre. It's weird.
It's global warming. That's what that is. Clearly, I felt it in Nashville this weekend. You sound like you were out late at St. Elmo's last night, having a few shrimp cocktails and other cocktails.
Yeah, well, the party continues. They literally brought a giant tray of shrimp cocktails into the media room a minute ago.
Nice.
Yeah, and you know what it's like when you bring food to a media room. It's like it's every man for himself. Survival.
You ever seen them when they feed the sharks, like in the cage, and they like throw the raw, they school in? That's exactly what it looks like. Absolutely. All right, so I mean, the smoke is just billowing from the horizon, and it's spelling Brady coming back. I mean, what is the scuttlebutt up there? I mean, that's all. Every day, it's another thing where he goes on a show and says, "I'm not retiring." Basically, I mean, what's the scuttlebutt?
I asked Bruce Arians about it on Tuesday, and he said, that he just likes that. He's probably he's one of these guys that likes to have his name out there. And he kind of chuckled about it and left it at that, which I'm sure that there's probably some truth to that. But the one person who can put the kibosh on all of this refuses to say something is just baffling to me, especially when to me the future of a franchise is at stake. On one hand, with his answer, and if we give a clear answer now, then Jason Light could move forward accordingly instead of playing this what if game. I mean, not to the point, and I'm not trying to be critical of Tom Brady on this, but you guys can't move forward one way or the other until they know if you're in or out. Like if the Bucs move the draft picks or mortgage their future on a trade, get somebody in here, and then all of a sudden in July he goes, you know what, I want to come back and play. You just sabotaged the franchise,
and you gave up all your leverage.
Exactly. So that's the one thing that I find odd. He hadn't, given a clear direction on that. And also, if this is, the reports and the rumors about he wants to come back but not here, true, then something has to be worked out for him to play in 2022. So now you're talking about other franchises having to figure out how they're going to mortgage their futures because there's a team looking for quarterbacks.
Right. Well, Luke, I just went on basically a rant in the first hour, and I'm the one saying the emperor has no clothes on. I'm taking shots at Brady. I think he and Rodgers are doing the same thing. It's all very selfish. If you want to come back and play, then tell us. If you want to come back and play for the 49ers, okay, fine. Here's the cost, and it's going to be steep. It's not going to be 5 number ones, but it's going to be, give me a Deebo Samuel. I don't think they have any number ones left. But it's going to be steep. I mean, and I agree with Bruce when he said, this is business, man. We love you, Tom. Thanks for coming and doing everything you did. And, we'll give you all the platitudes you want. But if you just think you're going to strong arm your way out of here for nothing, that ain't happening. And I think that's, and I know a lot of people like, oh, come on, look what he did for the franchise and blah, blah, blah. Let him go. No, this is business. If the Bucs did that, they are letting down their fans. Are they not?
Well, go back in history and go back to the first Super Bowl. It took John Gruden here. They literally, signed off on the next half decade. The Super Bowl team affected the next half decade is my point. You had the 2 years of no first round. It took the team years to recover from that.
Yep.
And you can trace that. You can trace the downfall of the Gruden era. And the particular players that were lost over the years, and when the team finally started to get old, they couldn't replace them. They had salary cap issues. There was the Black Wednesday, I think it was, when we got the the Derrick Brooks release and all that.
Yeah.
And we was at a Rays spring training game when that news came out about Brooks, and all of a sudden the Rays were irrelevant that day because it was the most. I remember the list of names. We called it Black Wednesday. The roster had just been gutted with big names, and the team is just fluttered in below mediocrity ever since. And then all of a sudden you get the Arians comes in and the Tom Brady brief era brings a Super Bowl. It's glorious, but here we are again on the brink of making an incorrect decision that could cost this team a decade. You can't go a decade. The Super Bowl is worth what it is for sure, but not at the expense of 10 years of high draft picks because you're winning 5-6 games a year.
Yeah. No, I totally agree, and that's why it would be best if everybody was up front. And here's the thing, Luke, and I'd like to get here if you're hearing any scuttlebutt, because Scott Zolak came out yesterday on his show and said he definitely believes Brady's not done. He's coming back, but he said not Tampa. So why not Tampa? Like if Bruce says that everything's unicorns and rainbows with Tom Brady and there was no friction, no turmoil, no nothing, then what's the problem here? What's wrong with what's the issue here? I mean, we can bring all the players back.
How many other teams are in a position to win the Super Bowl?
Right.
That he could go to.
Yeah, and he's going to go learn a whole new offense. He's going to go do this whole new thing with a whole new group. So what happened? What happened? I mean, clearly in Brady's mind something happened.
Well, this plays into what you're saying too, and where I kind of lean at that. We need an answer somehow because in 2 weeks they got to figure out how to sign free agents. And if I'm a free agent, especially a Bucs free agent, I would love to know. I would love to know the full Brady status before I even talk money. A guy like Chris Godwin, for instance, who loves it here, and in my opinion, will be back. I think he would like to know who's throwing the football.
Yeah,
so,
you think? Is it going to be Trask or Tom Brady? We're playing Gabbert.
Right, exactly.
Hey, a little bit of a difference there. Yeah,
there is a bit of a difference there. You got to, Chris Godwin wants to win a Super Bowl too.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot at stake based on one man's answer, both for Bucs free agents, potential free agents coming in to the Bucs that they would sign. That's going to be the question: who's throwing the football?
Well, I think
especially on the offensive side.
Yeah, I think in both cases, in Brady's and Rodgers' case, right? I think they both want to have full control over everything. Everything that it's completely selfish about them. They don't care about their other teammates and the organization. I hate to say this, but because they could clear up everything. Do they not? Do they truly not know? I mean, maybe in Brady's case, he doesn't know. He's still maybe waffling a little bit and wants to be with the family, and Gisele's pulling at him. I get that a little bit. But Rodgers' case, he knows what he wants to do. I mean, what more information in the next 2 weeks is he going to get? And for Brady,
too, his reputation though is the selfish route. He's an intelligent guy. He speaks well. He doesn't, he never looks, like a dopey guy on camera when he talks. But he's the wheels are always turning in his head.
Right.
He manipulates the system, but I just don't understand why you would let this drag out, other than just for your purposes of you like to read about yourself.
Well, and get leverage. I mean, what Brady wants to do is force the Bucs' hand to go do something and get a quarterback, and so they won't have the cap room, or they've already made a decision on a veteran. And what the Bucs are saying is, you know what, we're not. We can play with Gabbert and Trask. We can go with these guys. That's why I think why Bruce is building up Gabbert to say, hey, if we're going to go with him, that's fine. And Trask as well. And that basically telling Brady, look, we're good. We can move forward. If you want to come back, the light is on. No question about it. We'd love to have you. But if you don't, we'll move forward. We're not going after a veteran. That's what I think that's their strategy. Is it not?
I think it is their strategy, but I also think the best case scenario is they want to get a bridge to Trask in a better manner, a year or 2 years, and that would fit Tom Brady's timetable as well. I mean, Brady's not 5-6 more years, no matter what anybody says, but he could come here and finish his career and provide that bridge to Kyle Trask, a very smooth transition, and Trask needs that time as well.
Yeah.
to develop under him in the same offense.
Dan Lucas, live from the Combine, News Channel 8. All right, so what are they looking at up there at the Combine? I guess this surprise retirement of Ali Marpet puts a lot of focus on Zion Johnson and the interior offensive lineman.
Yeah, we got a chance to chat with Zion this morning, and wow, he's really he's a pretty big guy, bigger than I thought, and well-spoken. He told a pretty good story. He's a natural guard.
Mm-hmm.
But he played center at the Senior Bowl.
Ooh.
And so he's embraced that position, which the Bucs love those versatile players that can go up and down the line and step in and play any position. So that fits into the scheme of what the Bucs might have in mind. He has had a formal meeting with the Bucs, and then he went on to say he has meetings set up with as many as 7 teams. So the teams are taking him seriously and take a good look at him. So in the Bucs case, you really got to examine him. If you're not going to take him, he's going to be gone.
Yes, definitely about that. So anybody else that they're kind of looking at, any other position group that they're looking at?
Well, so far we've just the offensive guys. The defense comes in later, but even though the pick might wind up being a defensive lineman, we looked at the receivers yesterday. They're looking at David Bell, the Purdue receiver, Jahan Dotson at Penn State.
Yeah.
And I keep hearing a little bit about running backs, but I don't know if the running back position is here for them in this draft. So they're going to get a chance to the young man from Georgia, Cook, the Florida back as well. These are pass protection, big body running backs. If there's one available, they'll take them. But I don't know if running back is a position they can get here in the draft and take that number 1 spot.
Well, it would sure not be nice to know who the quarterback is, but I guess we're going to be in limbo for a little while longer. Dan Lucas, so we can look forward to all this on News Channel 8 tonight and this weekend?
Yeah, we're going to talk to Zion tonight, and I also had a really nice chat with Nick Frere, or as we used to call him back in the Indianapolis days of Blue Press, Nicholas Petit Frere. He's now Nick.
That's right.
He came here. He said, first of all, the kid's smiling the whole time. And he said, I was told how miserable this process is. And they call you at 5 a.m. They want you to be here and there, and it's really draining. And he says, I got to be honest with you. I've had the best week of my life here. This is great. And so he was really fun to talk to. A little bit later today, we're going to talk to Jerome Ford, a running back from Armwood.
Oh, nice.
He was the guy that he signed with Alabama and then transferred to Cincinnati. Remember, that was one of the storylines during the playoffs.
Yeah.
He said, listen, I want to be known as a Cincinnati guy, not the guy who transferred from Alabama.
Yeah, right.
But we're going to talk to him today. So he's
Good
an
stuff.
exciting player for sure that's going to play in the league. And so 2 local guys coming up tonight, and plus Zion Johnson. So lots to talk about on the offensive side of the ball.
Good stuff. News Channel 8 getting out there and getting on the road to the Combine. Fantastic, like the old days. All right, Dano, appreciate it, my friend. Thank you for taking the time. We'll chat with you next week.
Okay, JP, be good.
Thanks. Enjoy that shrimp cocktail. Very jealous. That shrimp cocktail is enormous. Those are jumbo shrimp, the true oxymoron. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, Brian Bradley's going to join us. We're going to talk some hockey. The Lightning back in action tonight against the Penguins. So stay with us. The PGA Tour's Valspar Championship is back in March in 2022, March 14th through the 20th, right in the middle of the best weather of the year and the last stop on the Florida swing. The Valspar has become one of the must-do events on the Tampa Bay sports and social calendar, so get your best tickets before they sell out. The game's biggest stars love the Coppin Court in Innisbrook. Last year, we saw Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth. Wow, the crowds, and another star-studded field is expected again this year. Sam Burns took the title and will defend again.
real money-making opportunities and don't know how to do it. There are over 10,000 tokens and thousands of decentralized finance exchanges to navigate. So what do? You go to DeFiLava.com. The folks at DeFiLava.com are in Tampa Bay, and they work with you directly to set up custom accounts, answer all your questions, and provide market analysis. Decentralized finance and cryptocurrencies are here to stay and will change the financial markets as we know them. Get in the game. Get with the experts at DeFiLava.com and tell them JP sent you, and get their free 2022 crypto market forecast today at DeFiLava.com. Don't get left behind, folks. Make some money at DeFiLava.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the law offices of Christopher Flamer. Our second hour brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. And the Golden Diamond Source, always a great place to get a great gift for your loved one. 3800 Olmsted Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. All right, let's chat with our good friend Brian Bradley, who's hanging out at the morning skate over at Amalie Arena. The Pittsburgh Penguins are in town, Sid Kidd, and all these great players that they have. What's up, Brian Bradley? How are you?
Good, JP. How are you doing today?
Everything good? I'm good, yeah. The Pens are in town. We split a couple games with them. They beat our ass on opening night when we raised the banner 6-2, but then we came back and whooped them up there 5-1. So this is the rubber match tonight. And the Lightning returning basically everybody from the other night, which is kind of new for the Lightning. They haven't had a whole lot of consistency in their lineup because of injury. So it'd be good to see this team start to, really get some consistency going in the lineup. Would it not?
Yeah, no, it was a good game the other night. We beat Ottawa 5-2, started off slow. Ottawa got up 2-0, but then we, came out and played Lightning hockey and ended up winning the game 5-2 in a very feisty game with Ottawa. I mean, they're kind of like, unexpected the way they came in. But tonight's team, Pittsburgh, anytime you talk about Pittsburgh, you talk about Sidney Crosby, Malkin. I mean, they've got Letang, they got Jake Gensel. They've got 74 points right now. I think they're like 33-11, so they're right up with the Lightning. So this is going to be a good match. This is going to be a playoff match potentially. Come down the thing. They're in second on their side behind Carolina, I think, but they got a good team, and they're getting everybody healthy and back together. I was just talking to the general manager, Ron Hextall. He's come on board now, and Brian Burke and him. But they got a good team here, so it should be an exciting game. Like I said, anytime. And the Lightning, you know what? They got the same lineup as the other night.
Yeah.
All the big guns are back in and playing, and you know what? It should be good to see. Schuster's in, and I think Foot's out, but Vazzy's in goal tonight. So you know what? I'm sure Vazzy won't play tomorrow against Detroit on back-to-back games, but this is a good game. This is going to be fun for the fans to watch tonight. Two top-end teams in the NHL in the Eastern Conference.
So did you ever score on Ron Hextall?
Oh, yeah.
I knew it.
Oh, yeah.
So when you see guys like that, do you remind them, hey, remember when I beat you with the bat? I got that hat trick that night?
No, I don't say that, but I will. I definitely scored against Ron Hextall, but you know what? He's a good guy. He's had a great career and played for Philadelphia. It must be fun. I asked him, I said, what was it like when you, been in the Philadelphia organization and he was out, GM and other teams, and you get picked up by the Penguins, and they used to play them all the time. I mean, Philly back in the day would play Pittsburgh all the time, and Mario and Yager. And he goes, when I walked in there, I used to go, yeah, I was in this game, we lost. I was in this game, we lost. and you know what? Because Mario and those guys could light it up with anybody. So they had Ronnie Francis, they had Mario Lemieux and Yager, and I'm sure Ron Hextall was in many of those nets for Philadelphia when they put a few goals in.
Yeah. So now he's running the team. Very interesting stuff.
Yeah.
See, Brad, you're not nearly as petty as me. I would definitely be mentioning all that stuff. Like, I would do that, no doubt.
You'd rub it in. You'd rub it in, JP.
Yeah, you're a much better man than me, as everybody knows. Any word on what's going on with Cal Foote? Because I think he's going to be a healthy scratch again. What's going on with him?
No, I'm not sure. Maybe they're resting him. Maybe they give him a little time. Maybe he's got a lingering injury. He skated today. Him and Boris Tkachuk were the two extras today. Obviously, Goj is still out, but Foot skated today, did the extra shooting, extra skating, and he looked actually pretty good. So I'm not saying he's injured. I would say no, he's not. I say they just probably, they're giving Schuster a little bit ice time. And I thought Schuster played really good.
Yeah.
He's a good skater. He's been more physical lately. So, that's one thing he's got a little bit different than Foot. He's a little bit more faster on the skates and stuff like that. So, but at the end of the day, Cal Foot's a great player. And you know what? He's just a young kid in the league, a defenseman. It takes time to understand the game, especially for defensemen.
Yeah, and I know the trade deadline's coming up. We talk about adding players. There may be, other organizations that want some of our players that might be expendable. I don't know if you'd be in that regard, but obviously, if you're going to give up something like that, you're going to get something really good back. So who knows? Do you think we're primed to do anything at the deadline right now?
I don't know. You know what? I would say we maybe do something. I don't think we've got a lot of cap space or money and stuff like that. But there's to me, I think you always look at maybe adding a defenseman just for insurance reasons. A veteran guy maybe you get, just at the end of his career, on a team that's not going to make the playoffs. And same as a forward. I think a forward would be really good, like picking up a guy. When you get in the playoffs at third line, the young kids like, Ross Colton and, Joseph and, Boris Tuchuk and Tyler Radish, someone's going to have to start putting pucks in the net because it gets tougher in the playoffs. And, Maroon, they do a great job. And so does, Valspar, and so does Corey Perry. I love that line, the third, fourth line. But you know what? You can never go wrong with adding a forward that's a veteran up front. A guy like I would really like, it'd be Connor Brown in Ottawa. They're not going to make the playoffs. He's been in the league like 6, 7, 8 years, played for Toronto. Super smart player. Could be a guy that we could put on the third line and score goals.
Yeah.
He's a guy that can put the puck in the net in. So, picking up a piece like that, if it doesn't cost you too much, I think that would be something I'd be looking at. But I'm not sure what they're looking at. But, they'll probably tinker a little bit. But do we have a lot to play with? No, we don't.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, and that's a great point. A lot of these young kids have played well, but it's production time, and late the season you can always score like that. So that's stuff. What do you make of when you watch the best players, Point, Kucherov, and Stamkos? These guys have been on fire, especially the last few games. The Lightning have won 5 in a row. They're in first place now. And Point and Kucherov haven't played a lot together. I think they've only played about 14, 15 games together this year. So, these guys are playing well, and I just think this team gets better as they move forward. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. They've had some injuries. Point's been out with his shoulder, and Kucherov's, everybody knows, missed like 2 or 3 months, a couple more months with another hip injury to the other side, I think. So, at the end of the day, I think I love the team. Like Brady Point had a goal and 3 assists last game. I think Kucherov had a goal and assist. Those guys are dynamic. Anytime you're talking in the lineup, they're just incredible. And then Stamkos, to me, Stamkos has had a great year. People talk about maybe his time is up and, he's not getting better. Stamkos looks like he's 25 years old right now. He looks great. He's shooting the puck like a rocket.
Oh.
I think he's shooting as good as I've ever seen since he's been in the league. He was firing the puck on the one-timer on the half boards today. He was hitting every one of them in the top corner, and they're laser rockets. So, to me, Stamkos looks as good as he ever has. He's the captain of the team. And, you can't say enough about Hedman and Vazzy. They're just incredible. They're world-class. You don't mention them as much as everybody because you expect so much from them every game. Vasilevsky's the best goalie in the NHL, and Hedman's the best defenseman in the NHL. So, that being said, we just surround our young guys with some quality players, and they play game in and game out, and they're awesome.
Yeah, and this you mentioned it, tonight's going to be one of those nights where you've got so much talent on the ice. And this, you've played in games like this. There's a lot of, you got 82 a year. There's some games you look across the ice and you go, wow, some talent over there. It just picks up your game a little bit, does it not?
Oh, yeah. Anytime you play Pittsburgh, even back in the day when Mario played, you get it, it's like when they play the Lightning, everybody wants to play the Lightning, Point, Kucherov, Hedman, Stamkos, Vaz, and you want to test yourself. So, you know what? Anytime you play against Pittsburgh, whether it was when I played when Mario Lemieux was there and Yager, or now when you have, Sidney Crosby. Sidney Crosby, he's been face of the NHL for the last 10 or 15 years, and he's a great guy. Malcolm's been there too, great world-class players. So, I mean, you know what? Everybody gets excited to play against Sidney Crosby. I mean, he's just been a special talent since he came in the league a long time ago. And you know what? It'd be a great game for all fans, and they're having a terrific year.
Yeah, they really are.
Great job. I'm just watching ex-Lightning player Brian Boyle skating in right now.
Oh, that's right.
He got picked up earlier this season, so they were short on some forwards with some lots of injuries, so they picked up Brian Boyle, and he's here now. So, you know what?
Good to see him.
It'll be a great game tonight. It'll be entertaining. I mean, they're in second place with 74 points. I think we got 76, and we're at first on our side. So it's a big game. It's a good test to see where they're at. We haven't seen them much. I mean, opening night was not anything close. We lost to them 6-2. It was a very disappointing game. Probably one of the worst games I've seen in franchise, as an opening night in franchise history. We were so bad that first game. But you know what? That's one game, and look where we are now. We're in first place, and you know what? The team's playing terrific.
Yeah, we were a little distracted watching the banner go up. You know how that is. It can be.
Oh, yeah.
Take your mind off it. Yeah, Crosby's got 50 points this year, 16 goals, 34 assists. He's making plays like he always had. Gensel's got 53. Letang's got 48.
Yeah.
These guys got firepower out the yin-yang, and so do the Lightning. So it's going to be awesome tonight. So, Brad, when you go to a skate around like this, the morning skate, what do you look for? Just the lineups, watching Stamkos shoot lasers? What do you look for?
Well, you're looking at the other team's lineups. You're seeing who's going to play tonight, who's in goal for the other team, like who's in our goal, like Badgie's playing tonight, just to where they are. And, just seeing, the Pittsburgh's got an optional skate today, so they only got about 10 or 12 guys on. Crosby's not on. I don't think Malkin's on. Most of their guys aren't really in because they play tomorrow night in Carolina. So, they're not going to really be skating too much when you got two games in 24 hours.
Yeah.
And Carolina is not an easy team to play against up in Carolina. That'll be a physical, fast, highest tempo pace, just like us.
All right. Going to be a fun one. I'll see you there tonight, my friend. Thanks, buddy.
Yes. You betcha, JP. Have a great day and go Bolts.
Go Bolts. The great Brian Bradley right there. I love hearing that. The puck's in the background, slamming against the glass.
See, this is what I tell Casey all the time. We're going to a Lightning game. I want to be in my seat at 6:15, 6:20.
Yeah, because you got to see the JP pregame show.
I guess. You're well, maybe.
That's when you go get your PDQ.
my $20 PDQ.
That's what I'm around for. I scare people into the high price concessions.
Hey, when you're in the concessions, I don't know if you know, but you're on the TVs.
Oh,
you're on the TVs.
Yeah.
You hear the audio, but you're on the TVs.
Well, that's good.
But no, I tell Casey,
I make people hungry.
It does. Go to the bathroom.
Go to the bathroom.
But I tell Casey, though,
Vomit.
I'm like 6:15. I want to hear the sound of the pucks hitting the glass when guys are missing and ringing them off the bar. Like it's 15 minutes of just seeing people shoot. Like it's satisfying.
Plus, this is how you sell it to Casey.
What?
They're not wearing their helmets. You get to see their hair. That's when they put their hair on display. It's so true. They all like going out there. They have their hair just right.
Slicked back,
Slicked back. Oh, that's their time. Oh, yeah.
I know.
That's their time. They're pimping it right then. That's what they're doing. So you want to see the handsome hockey players? That's your time. They don't have the. They got their their dentures in or whatever. So.
You can run right down to the
you can
the first row. You got a sign.
Put a sign up there. I'll trade Reese's Pieces for a stick. I saw that one last week. I'm like, you're gonna have to up the ante, I think, a little bit. And what's he gonna do with the Reese's Pieces on the ice? I don't know how that's gonna go. But the guys always do go over and interact with the guys with the signs and stuff.
And if you're lucky, you might get a puck. You might get a puck.
You probably will. Actually, they spill over the sides all the time. Yeah. In the pregame. So no, it's all part of the show too. And by the way, the show does start early on. It starts like half hour before the game. Greg Wolf comes on. Mm-hmm. Then we do a lot of cool videos and we get a lot of information up there. I do my pregame show. And then the anthem is a show in itself.
Exactly.
With the flags and everything. I like it. Always gives me chills. Yeah. Sonia's out there singing. We always have special presentations.
Yeah. Last game we went, we literally were walking down like the stairs to go to our seat right when they're about to like have face off. And I feel like I'm like late to the party.
No go.
Like I've missed.
That's a no-go.
Yeah.
And by the way, I've said this all year long, and I think it's because of the new electronic tickets. It just takes a while. People need to get there earlier, especially tonight. You got the pens in the house, man. Mm-hmm. The Pens are in the house. Go see Sidney Crosby and hair flowing. Yeah. Does he still have hair?
He doesn't have the long flowing hair, though. No, he don't still have the long
Not like the old days?
No,
okay.
No.
No longer Sid the Kid, is he?
No, but if you're looking for some top quality hockey, I could probably count about 5 or 6 Hall of Famers between both teams that are going to be on the ice tonight. So,
yeah, Crosby, obviously.
Crosby, Malkin.
Malkin's a Hall of Famer, right?
Yeah. And you could maybe throw Letang in there. Maybe. I mean, in the Lightning side, you got like 4 possible Hall of Famers. So
it's true.
I mean, if you're just looking for something to do tonight.
And Brian Boyle's here.
Brian Boyle.
Totally forgot about that.
Yeah, he scored against us in the first game of the season. I remember
Tristan
that.
Jarry is on he's on a roll.
Yeah.
Oh, Louis Dominguez is one of their backups. The old Lightning.
Louis Dominguez.
Louis Dominguez. So, yeah. I thought what Bradley said also about bringing in Connor Brown, a young scorer, maybe doesn't cost you much.
Yeah. I was just reading a column from Joe Smith.
Yeah, of the Athletic.
Yeah, and he was
Covers the
talking
league.
to Emblem and some of their GMs around the league. And when one of the names that's thrown out there is Andrew Kopp. He's from Winnipeg. 27-year-old. Kind of similar to Connor Brown.
Yeah.
Really cheap deal that's expiring. So, but again, who are you going to throw out there, right?
Is it Cal Foot?
Well, I
So
was
what
trying
are you
to
saying? He's been a healthy scratch?
He's been a healthy scratch for 2 games. Joe Smith said that John Cooper said it's something internal, which would lead you to believe it's not hockey related.
So he could be on the trading block.
Yeah, but of course it could be something like maybe he missed a meeting. You know, it could be something simple like that. He missed a meeting. He was late to a meeting, and now they're going to sit him down, young guy. You know.
Yeah.
I think
happens.
that might be more likely here because it's kind of odd for Schuster to randomly just get 2 games. No offense to him, but 2 games back to back like this.
But, I mean, I think Bradley brings up a good point. I love the way Joseph's been playing, but you got to get more production from some of these guys. You know, your secondary scoring is so important in the playoffs, and to have experienced guys who've been there before. I mean, look at Corey Perry. Look what Corey Perry's doing with this team. I'm not saying you're going to get a guy of that caliber, but, I've heard Phil Kessel's name thrown around. His deal is pretty robust, though. So I don't know how he would fit that under the cap.
Well, it's Arizona, remember.
Yeah.
So Arizona has made a living off of, we'll pay this guy, just take him off. We'll pay him, just, you have him. So, I mean, it's going to, anything, even if they got Kopp, because I think he's like 3.5 million.
Yeah.
They're going to have another team or Winnipeg retain the salary. That's how it's going to have to work for the most part.
Does that work on a salary cap if they retain it?
Yeah, that would work.
Yeah.
So,
who knows? But I do think Brisebois is going to make a move.
I think he will.
Yeah.
He's proven last year when they were like, what are they going to add? He went out and added David Savard.
Yeah.
They are always going to find someone to add. I wouldn't be surprised if they go back and get Luke Shin. I mean, they keep saying they need another depth defenseman. Yeah. They could go and get Luke Shin if they really wanted to.
I mean, they've had to play a few times short defensively.
Exactly.
So that gives you, right there, Coop's like, we get one major injury defensively and we're suddenly really, really exposed in your back end. You never want your back end exposed.
You don't want your back end exposed.
You do not want your back end exposed.
We know from experience.
Yeah, it's absolutely. Some people like that. Personally, no. All right.
It's time to hit a break.
That's it. A break on that note. We'll come back on the other side. We got some Ron DeSantis audio we're going to play. That'll be interesting. It's all over Twitter, man. It's all over these bullying people. All right, we'll do that and some other notes on MLB when we come back. Homeowners, listen up. Property values have risen in the Tampa Bay area to record levels, some up to 24% in 1 year. It's time to refinance your home and pull out the equity before rates go through the roof. Call my man Scott Fitzgerald at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Scott believes interest rates will be over 5 very soon due to the volatile economy and inflation, but you can still lock in the mid-3s, but not for long. This means you can save tens of thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. Now, Scott is an independent broker, so he can shop your mortgage around for the best rates, and he will pay for your appraisal if you mention you heard it here on the JP Show. That's a $500 to $700 value. Scott does not charge the huge upfront fees like the big banks do. In this uncertain economy and political climate, better to have cash in hand now. So call Scott at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. If you're feeling run down, your workout sucks, or your sexual libido is not what it used to be, check out Bay Area Modern Medical Center. That happened to me a few years ago, and I found out I had the testosterone level of a second-grade girl. That's not good. Our food, environment, and stress can cause your T levels to drop. Bay Area Modern Medical Center can help, and they are different. They offer customized hormone replacement for both men and women. Christopher Lugo and his medical staff can help you restore your energy, your sex drive, and your feelings of well-being. It was a total game changer for me. I have way more energy, lost 30 pounds, and I'm performing better in all areas of my life. Nobody wants to talk about sexual health, but it's key to a balanced life. We offer discreet treatments with real-world results. So if you're suffering from a lack of interest in sex, ED, or lack of sexual stamina, Dr. Lugo and his staff can help. Take your health care to the next level at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. The PGA Tour's Valspar Championship is back in March in 2022, March 14th through the 20th, right in the middle of the best weather of the year and the last stop on the Florida swing. The Valspar has become one of the must-do events on the Tampa Bay sports and social calendar, so get your best tickets before they sell out. The game's biggest stars love the Copperhead course at Innisbrook. Last year, we saw Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth. Wow, the crowds, and another star-studded field is expected again this year. Sam Burns took the title and will defend again at the Copperhead. This will be a full tournament with the return of Valspar Live, our free Saturday concert featuring Chris Young and Big and Rich, and other amenities including Chameleon Cove, the Hooters Owl's Nest, the Publix Chill Lounge, and other hospitality venues. Go to ValsparChampionship.com for tickets. The best premium hospitality areas will sell out, so don't wait. That's ValsparChampionship.com. JP here for my friend, attorney Christopher Palermo. If you are having issues with a claim on your homeowner's insurance from a sinkhole, storm damage, water intrusion, defective stucco, and construction defects, or any other issue, Christopher is your man. These big insurance companies didn't get rich paying out what you deserve. Chris founded his practice in 2009 with a passion to help all Floridians with disputes where they were forced to take on the powerful and needed a champion in their corner. Chris wants to make sure you will receive the most aggressive and compassionate representations. He has recovered millions in settlements on behalf of his clients facing defective stucco damage and other construction issues. So call Chris, mention the JP Show, and he will give you a free consultation. That's 813-221-5636, or go to PalermoPA.com. He's a fifth-generation Tampanian graduate of Jesuit High School and the University of Florida, and he cares deeply about you and the community. That's 221-5636 or PalermoPA.com.
Are you selling your home or refinancing? JP here for Greenleaf Title. You choose the title company, not the realtor, and it makes a difference. You want a reputable company that will make sure your title is safe and secure. There are a lot of scammers out there right now, so go with a trusted company like Greenleaf Title. Plus, they will close anywhere, folks, and they will send a limo to pick you up to come to the closing. Yep, the great JP Limo Closing is back. All you got to do is give them a call at 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. We'll set up the limo for you. They'll come pick you up. Heck, we even picked up one couple, took them to Black Rock Restaurant, one of our favorite advertisers, and then to the closing. That's how they do it at Greenleaf Title. Great service. We'll close anywhere. The lowest fees in the business. 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. That's greenleaftitle.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. Our second hour presented by Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Christopher Lugo and his medical team will get you right over there. If you're looking for a new primary care physician, you know, a lot of places are not adding new patients, but they are at Bay Area Modern Medical Center. They have a very different approach to primary care, personalized preventative medicine, not a one-pill-fits-all mentality. You know, if you're one of those guys out there that's just been like, I'm struggling a little bit with my energy levels, put on a little weight during COVID. I need an exercise program. I just need somebody to direct me because there's so much information out there, right? There's so much like, this works, that works, do this, do that. When you go to Bay Area Modern Medical Center, you're not going to, some fad diet place or some, crazy exercise dude at CrossFit. I mean, these folks over there I've been doing this for a long time. Christopher Lugo works a lot with the military, elite special forces guys. He knows exactly what he's doing. It's a lot of cutting edge stuff. They're going to get you on the proper diet, supplements, exercise that's going to optimize your active lifestyle. If you want to get back in the game, testosterone replacement is a great thing, folks. I've been doing it for a long time. It's nothing, by the way, it's nothing to be ashamed of. Okay, with the poisons that are out there in our atmosphere and in our food and everything else, stress that men and women go through, it depletes your testosterone, and it's unnatural. Most guys should have higher testosterone levels than they have. I was one of those folks, and once you get it back to where it naturally should be, you feel tremendously different. And it's not a frivolous treatment. We say that all the time. It takes a professional, targeted approach, and that's what they do at Bay Area Modern Medical Center. So if you're just tired of kind of schlepping your way through it, you want to get ripped, you want to just get in better shape, you want to feel better, you want to be better against that, the next pandemic that Bill Gates told us is coming. Well, then get healthy and do it at Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Get a great professional approach to what's going on. Go to BAMMC.com. That's BAMMC.com. Get more information. You can also call them at 844-977-3477. That's 844-977-3477. All right, we got some interesting stories out there. You want to start with the let's start with the football stuff. Couple of reports out there. Gronk to the Bills. He grew up in Buffalo. This just in, Buffalo's pretty good. They got Dawson Knox, though. He's pretty good. Hey, by the way, there's some good tight ends out on the market that the Bucs should be very interested in. But Gronk to the Bills sounds like a thing.
It wouldn't shock me. It would not shock me at this point. And the old reports are that he's working out still.
I heard on the on Peter Report podcast, I was listening to it yesterday. Guys are up in Indianapolis. By the way, check that out. They're getting great stuff up there. That he's working out at $1 Place twice a week.
There you go.
To go play for the Bills?
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. He's still. How does that work? Because he's not under contract with the Bucs anymore.
No.
So
they just would be allowing him to use the facility.
Allowing him to use the facility.
Why wouldn't you? Yeah, come on.
It's almost as if there's special rules,
especially if you're
people.
romancing. If you're romancing Tom Brady, you would want Gronk. Come on, I mean Gronk be like, hey Tom, do a little FaceTime, a live video. Look at the great. Did you forget what a great facility we have here? Remember all the people in the cafeteria that you never talked to? I'm kidding.
I don't think you are kidding. That's the thing. You're trying to save face right now.
I've been.
You've been very bad to Brady lately.
I have. I predict within a month and a half, I'll have a lot of people in my camp.
Won't be me. Won't be me.
Won't be you. Also, Ryan Jensen to the Bengals for a $39 million deal. Pac-Man Jones, who I chatted with actually came on our show. I was doing the Solomon Walcott's interview. They're Bengals buddies, and he stopped by in the middle of the interview and said hello. So he told Solomon on their Bengals podcast that Ryan Jensen is going to be a Cincinnati Bengal, a $39 million deal.
And I'll let them do that.
Yep, I will.
I'll let them do that. I love Ryan Jensen.
Love him to death, man.
And I told you off air, I don't think he has as many miles.
No, he was a backup at first.
He's a backup for like 3 or 4 years at Baltimore.
Yeah.
But if somebody's going to pay him, 3-4 years, that price, I'm sorry. I can't do it. I cannot do it.
Yeah, I just think that it's one of those situations where I love the guy, but as I get older, I think he's going to be, 30, 32, 33. And those positions, he's already, he got a little nicked up at the end of the season. Great player. Love to have him back, but I think it's time to transition. If you get Zion Johnson, this young kid, Dan Lucas was telling us about, Pewter Report very high on them as well. Seems like a really good fit here. You can move him to play some center, can move him to center.
Yeah.
Of course, they drafted Hainsey to play center. I mean, it's a position where you typically want an experienced guy.
But I'm not breaking the bank for him either.
No.
Not at the center position.
No, I would not.
To me, it still seems very unlikely. He's going to be here, and even Gronk, even though he's working out at $1, even if he does return, I just don't see it in Tampa Bay. I can't.
Why?
Unless Brady's here.
Well, of course, that would be a package deal.
It just would not seem right for Gronk.
Oh, we talked about this at the beginning of the show. And in case you missed it, remember, just tap that app, go right back to the beginning of it. We had a long conversation on the latest with the newest Brady audio from the Fred Couples Show, Scott Zolak's report, where he said he really thinks Brady's coming back. He's the New England color broadcaster up there who played with Brady. Said he thinks he's coming back, but not Tampa. So clearly, you can say whatever you want, but there's a lot of smoke out there about whatever happened here in Tampa was unpleasant, even though they were uber successful. That could be fixed. I really believe it can be fixed. It can't be that bad. It can't be so toxic that you win that many games and you're that good a football team. You're scoring 35, 40 points a game. Come on. So y'all get in a room, figure it out, and put the band back together.
Give up hope. Just give it up. You got to rip the Band-Aid off. Rip it off.
I'm not predicting it's going to happen, but I'm telling you this. If Brady thinks, the Bucs are going to, just because Jason Light's a good guy and and Bruce Arians is a good guy, and they're just going to let him go play in San Francisco for nothing, he's wrong. He's wrong. He's flat wrong. And anybody who suggests the Bucs should not, hold their 49ers feet to the fire or hold him hostage. He's not being held hostage. He can come back to Tampa Bay and have everything he wants. I don't think there's anything the Bucs would say. Well, have they said no to him yet? The only time that they said no is like, okay, your boy quit on us, disrobed on the sideline, F you to all his teammates and everybody, and quit on us in the middle of the game, so we kicked him off the team. You got a problem with that? Sorry. But south of that, anything you want, Tom.
I just don't think he's coming back in general. Not here.
No,
not
he's
with another
definitely
team.
playing. He's definitely playing.
I think he's retired.
All right. So this is the big, to do on the internet today on Twitter. Everybody's talking about how Ron DeSantis bullied a bunch of USF students yesterday for wearing their masks. You got the audio. You wrote a story on Outkick for this. So let's just play the audio first. So this is him coming to announce something, right?
Cybersecurity workforce at USF.
So he walks up and there's a bunch of students behind him. They're going to be behind him as he does this press conference. And these are all young students high school students who have zero. And I mean, why are they wearing masks in a high school? I thought we were done with that. Anyway, so they're all standing behind him and they're all wearing masks. It makes no sense. The masks don't work. There is no data that shows these cloth masks work in any of these school settings. And there's plenty of data that says it harms people wearing them all day long. Let's know that. I saw on Twitter yesterday, it's like, in this whole story, it says, even though experts agreed that masks are safe and effective in stopping the spread of COVID. That's bullshit. That's complete bullshit. There's not one study that shows that. Not one. And so with that as a backdrop, here's what DeSantis said as he walked up and saw all these kids wearing masks who were going to be behind him as he did his press conference.
You do not have to wear those masks. I mean, please take them off. Honestly, it's not doing anything, and we got to stop with this COVID theater. So if you want to wear it, fine, but this is ridiculous.
And for that, he's Donald Trump now. He said, if you want to wear it, fine, but it's ridiculous. He's 100% right.
He could be right, but to me, the whole thing is odd. It's so odd. Like, he just walks in, and the first thing he does is look at them. It's like, let me not introduce you, or let's all have a nice moment here. It's you're wearing those damn masks, and you shouldn't be wearing them.
Well, I don't blame him.
I get it, but at the same time, it's not really his place to say it. It's not his place. They're high school students.
First of all, why are they wearing masks in high schools anymore?
Well, I listened to there were some interviews they did with the parents of the kids. And they were like, it was like the parents' decision that they make them do that.
And that's fine.
And I feel like
he said, if you want to wear them, fine, but it's ridiculous.
But it's to me, it's the point.
He did point. He did
pointed. And when you point at somebody
that's
like
not
that,
bullying.
I wouldn't say bullying it's just, to me, it was unnecessary. And with all the cameras it was a show.
I disagree with that, because think of the optics of here's the governor, Ron DeSantis, who has made a point and I'm just ask you this. Why were all of those kids wearing masks behind him? You think that's by accident? You think all those kids who don't have to wear masks in school now were suddenly decided to put their masks on to be behind him?
I'm sure it was organized.
Of course, somebody put them up to it to embarrass him, and he knows that. This is all political theater because he's going to stand there and announce it with all these kids in the background wearing masks, and everybody's going to go, I thought there were no masks in Florida. Why are these people wearing masks? So and he recognizes that somebody in that school, was like, okay, we're going to have all the kids behind him wearing masks.
See, but here's where it goes both ways. This is to say, and I hate being this is not me taking a political stand by any means. I'm just pointing at things out here that he's said. He's all about Florida being Mr. Freedom, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. He said it's fine. You can wear them if you want. It's fine. Did he not say that?
But he felt the need to get his point across.
Is it not his? That's what he's been saying.
And it's just the way.
Pointless.
It's the way he said it. Like
here we go again. The mean tweets. Oh, you get your feelings hurt. Oh, I'm sorry.
It was an unnecessary gesture.
Oh,
they were high school kids. Unnecessary gesture.
Sure, it's not. They're
with the cameras and everything.
It's unnecessary. It's unnecessary to have our children wearing masks for 2 years.
This will be
that harm them.
This will be in his 2024 political ad.
I know, and you know what? And guess what? The majority of people feel the way I do. A vast majority of the people feel the way I do. That's ridiculous. I like when I'm wearing them on the plane. It's not doing anything except harm me.
But what is okay? So what is the impact? What impact does it have on him that the kids are wearing it at this moment?
Because it's
he just doesn't want it in his photo behind him.
100%. It's political theater. It's political theater to be wearing, like Joe Biden wearing a mask in an open field yesterday, but then he goes into the State of Union and he's headbutting people. I mean, and that Nancy Pelosi thing. Who are these weirdos running our country? My God, who are these people? Like, I'm not even talking just about Democrats, but all of them.
I mean, did you see the nut job that stood up during his State of the Union and started yelling at him?
What is that? what are these people?
It's from both sides.
I know they're all nut jobs.
They're nuts.
They're all nut jobs. But this was a. You can't have these constant pictures of people wearing masks, especially when you're, sitting behind you when you're talking about something. It's completely. It's those pictures and those images mean so much.
I did see this kid though. He wanted to take that mask off.
Of course he did, because he was told to wear it.
He started laughing a little bit.
He was told to wear it, and the parent that came out and said, "I want my child to wear a mask." I think you're doing your child a huge disservice. Why don't you ask your child specifically if he wants to wear it? You know what that answer is? F no. Hell no.
Well, the other one
let's interview the child.
The other one said, Dad says you can do whatever you want. Mom says wear it. I did see that one.
Shocking development there. Shocking development there. Oh my God. So anyway, DeSantis is now
I'm not going to lose. I'm not
bullying people.
I'm not going to lose my shit over it. Okay. Yeah. But I mean, I'm just saying, I thought it was a little unnecessary. That's it.
What's unnecessary is wearing masks for 2 years. That's what's completely unnecessary. It's just crazy. All right. Anything else that we missed today? The quarterbacks and receivers are on the field today at the combine. So Kenny Pickett's going to get the big.
He's off my draft board because his hand is too small.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Hand measurement came out.
What happened?
8.5 inches, JP.
8.5 inches.
Too damn small.
No, it's just you can't play that way.
Get him off my board.
Can't play in a cold weather city.
Hey, and by the way, Malik Willis, are you stunned that Malik Willis?
Read that quote from PFF. This is you want to talk about racist. Oh my God, this is so bad.
Oh, the NFL,
I can't even believe PFF put that up there. But I mean, I think they're just repeating what they're hearing from other people.
It's coming from people that are there at the combine. It's crazy. It's crazy.
So if you don't know, Malik Willis is a black quarterback from Liberty, right?
Yeah.
Played for Liberty.
Yeah. So teams have reportedly been surprised that Malik Willis's overall offensive knowledge and ability to retain offensive info and play calls for the position. They're surprised. Surprised that he knows how to play quarterback.
What's our coach? Hugh Freeze, right?
At Liberty, yes.
Yeah. Who has a very complex system, right?
Yeah.
That he's thrived in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's surprising?
I
don't get it.
NFL, what is your problem?
Do we need to have Gruden? You know what they should have? Remember when Gruden used to have his quarterback camp? And they used to do the whole. Oh,
well, is there an email on Malik Willis we should be seeing?
I almost had forgot about that for a second.
I was surprised at how much information. And his lips were as big. What did he say about?
I have no idea.
Oh my God!
No, but the Gruden's quarterback camp. That was my point.
Let's read his emails on the black quarterbacks.
Maybe we shouldn't have the Gruden quarterback camp, but we could have
perhaps not
the Hasselbeck quarterback camp or
maybe
something.
Maybe that would be better.
The Mina
He's still
Kimes
on
quarterback
ESPN.
camp. I don't know. I don't know. We could showcase that these guys know what they're doing. Jeez.
We've gone overboard and overtime. All right. Thanks for joining us today. It always gets really good at the end. Great stuff in our first half hour talking about Brady's comeback and the smoke that's all there and what's going on behind the scenes. Very fascinating discussion. So go back and check that out. Always on YouTube, always on Instagram, always on Twitter. Check us out. We're getting huge numbers now. Thank you all for listening. We'll talk to you tomorrow.